Hi, and welcome to episode 11 of Learning Photography, where we're trying to practice in getting to an exposure that we like. Again, this is kind of overriding what the camera thinks is a correct exposure. I'm here in a kind of a shady area of our yard, and I've got some nandina berries in front of me. You perhaps can't see them very well because it is kind of dark there. Even though it's shady, I want you to find something similar, a shaded area in wherever you are, and set your camera's ISO to 200 and your shutter speed to 1/30th of a second and your aperture to f8. If we take a look at the scene with that, where do you think the indicator is going to be? The plus side or the minus side? Right, the minus side, because in a dark area with f8, even though it's 1/30th of a second, it's still kind of dark. And I'm getting a reading of minus 1.7, so 1 2/3 under. I'm going to leave it there, and let's go ahead and take a shot. Okay? Let's slow down our shutter speed. We need to get a little bit of light back because it's too dark, right? It's almost 2 stops underexposed. So let's make our shutter speed 1/15th of a second. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 until my shutter speed reads 1/15th. Now look through the lens, and sure enough, it got a little brighter. So I'm going to take that shot. Now, we still need a little more light because the image, as we look at the image, it's still kind of dark. But we're at 1/15th of a second, and 1/15th of a second is, that's already pushing the limits on what a human being can hold steady on a camera. So let's get our light from someplace else. Let's pretend we want to leave our aperture at f8 for depth of field. And so let's get some more light back, another stop of light back using our ISO. So go to your ISO setting and change it from 200 to 400, so doubling it. So we're doubling how sensitive the sensor is to light because there's less light. So the scene should be brighter. And as I look through the lens, it's showing me actually I'm a plus third of a stop. So I'll take that shot and see how that looks. So this is called reciprocity. We went to 1/15th of a second to get a little bit more light from 1/30th of a second, a whole stop's worth of light. But we can't go any further with shutter speed and still expect to get a steady, good image. In fact, if you zoom in on that 1/15th of a second image, I bet you'll see a little bit of movement. And so we go to one of our other controls, either f-stop, aperture, or the ISO to regain some more light. And this is what it's all about, balancing these different controls until we get to the point that we like it, the image, and that we're prioritizing the thing that we want to prioritize. I want to be at f8 because I want good depth of field. I don't want to change that, so I have to change one of the other two. And it's a trade-off of which one you choose. So that gets us to that point. All right, I had to stop yesterday, and then the weather took over, and I had to pick it up again today. But this exercise showed us how we can work ourselves to the exposure that we really want by balancing those 3 parts of the exposure triangle. And there are always different ways to do this. I had a comment on one of my previous videos, well, couldn't you do such and such? And of course you can. I'm trying to follow really what I typically do with my students. And for example, the suggestion this gentleman made is something that we'll do in a future episode. So those of you who have experience in this will recognize that there are different ways to approach these challenges. So the challenge we've left ourselves with in this exercise at a shutter speed of 1/15th of a second, and that's no good. So in episode 12, we will take a look at how we can get away from such a slow shutter speed. So thank you very much for checking in, and join me for episode 12, and remember to stay in control of your camera.